Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Volvo EX90. We're here in Los Angeles at the Global Launch. We've had a look around the outside, we're having a look around the inside. We're going to do that again, but we're also going to take it out for a drive. Most importantly, we're going to be looking at this gorgeous mulberry coloured one, and specifically to start with, we're going to be looking at the 6-seat configuration, but we are going to be looking at the 7-seat configuration later on. So join me as we refresh ourselves on the features externally, internally, and then towards the end we're going to be driving it. So let's get stuck into it. On camera, it's difficult to get how gorgeous this mulberry colour is. Actually try and get around to where there's a bit of light, but we'll start at the front, working our way back. That might be a bit better of an angle. I really like it now. There is the vapor grey, which we're going to look at now in a second, and the new sand dune colour, but this is probably my favourite at the moment. I think it's really nice. Let's start off at the front. We've got those gorgeous pixel LED lights. And with them you also have the opportunity of where they actually open up. So these front sections here open up and this stays vertical, and underneath here then this is your indicator hazard lights down there. Gloss black down along the bottom. You've got your fans for your battery cooling. You have your large Volvo logo with your 360-degree cameras. Lots of cameras around here, lots of sensors. And you will notice on the top of the actual windscreen, you've got that Lidar unit. Now currently only in, it's actually fairly discreet, currently only in read-only mode or gather information-only mode. It's not been utilised for the autonomous driving. That is going to be part of that over-the-air update software that is going to be coming. And there are some other things within this vehicle that aren't finalised yet, like Apple CarPlay isn't on it, the bright screen, it's in dark mode currently, so bits and pieces like that. So just be conscious that there will be an element of updating that's going to be happening. Let me show you the Frunk. And so this is the ultimate trim. And so you look at the 22-inch tires, but we look at that now in a second. And so you've got the large double strut over here. You've got your window washer, fluid replacement, a bit of a funnel there as well, which is something that always handy to have. And then I think it's 37 litres in that front trunk. Interesting how long and large these clasps are on it. So enough for some cleaning products, maybe your Type 2 charging cable, etc, etc. Even a takeaway if you didn't want it in the cabin of the car. Then moving down along the side, you have the opportunity of 20s, 21s and 22s. These are 22s and these are the 10-spoke, large. You can see the size of the brisktakes inside there, and these are 265 40 22s, and I believe they are 265 on the rear as well. Let's just double check that. 295, so 265 in the front, 265 in the front, 295 on the rear. Not a lot of creases going on, but there are a few, don't get me wrong. You can see them down along the side there, and then this large gloss black. When I open the door, you can see just how thick it is down there. Keeping everything clean as you go inside. You've got the frameless wing mirrors, door mirrors, glass black, indicator built in and retractable, and then you've got some of these cameras. This is more so for the autonomous driving. Our 360-degree camera side on the side of it here. You've got your body coloured, you've got your glass black roof rail with a capacity of 100 kgs. You've got that large panel sunroof, glass black B-pillar, glass black C-pillar flush, and then your body coloured D-pillar. Door handles are flush when it's driving and also when it's locked. But yeah, what do you think about the looks and the style of it? Let me know in the comments. I really, really like it, and especially in this mulberry colour. So some sizes, we are looking at over 5 meters long. We are looking at a wheelbase of nearly 3 meters at 2.985, a width of 2.113 and a height of 1744. So yeah, it's probably standard for a large SUV in the European market, but in the US market it's probably on the smaller side. Moving down along the side then we have the charging. This is the American version, but AC in the European version will be 11 kilowatt with 22 as option, and then DC 250 kilowatts, 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. Has bi-directional charging, has the ability to vehicle to load, vehicle to house, vehicle to grid. And we're going to be talking about that in further upcoming videos. There is an exhibitor here called DC Bell that's going to be looking at that grid DC to DC, the ability for the house, or sorry, your property, but also sell back to the grid potentially. This is the rear, and you've got that new light signature up along the side, very similar to the C40 that we would have seen, and there is a welcome sequence in it. Then you've got your indicators built in here. I'll actually turn on the hazard lights so you can see what that looks like. I am looking forward to getting inside. And so, you can see there, it's the inner ring, and then your brake lights and your reversing lights are the smaller LEDs. You can see there, and then at the front, you'll be able to see the hazard lights and indicator lights down along the bottom. I know they're flickering on camera there, but to the naked eye, they don't flicker. And then we'll talk about the interior stuff when we go back. Down along the back then you have, the area must be built into the actual roof itself and into the pan roof. You have your high level brake lamp, you have your large window wiper, you've got your 360-degree camera, you've got the Volvo badging with the EX90, and then this white little square twin, and then specifically the twin performance. It's got the kick, and then you also have the ability to open it via the button just above the license plate holder. This is with the 3 rows up. And so you've got your shopping bag hooks, you've got the ability to put in a parcel, a shelf, a tannoy cover, you've got your tie-off hooks. So decent with the 3 rows up. This also comes with on the Ultra trim, which we have here today, it comes with air suspension. And we're going to talk about that now in a second. It is 310 litres with the rear seats up. Then when we knock down those seats, and those seats can be knocked down one touch, with these haptic buttons here. You've got shopping bag hook there that you can spin around. You've got your 12 volt, and then the right hand one, let's see, will it go down? Oh, it's not going to go down because that seat hasn't been pushed forward enough. These 2 seats can be individually moved forward. And then you can see this is the darker trim, right. And that is locking it down. And you've got that subfloor then underneath here as well. So with this subfloor, you have the ability of having the parcel shelf cover that would normally fit up here, fitting down into the actual boot. You have the manual release for the charging cable, and you can take that subfoam out. So large subfloor storage in there, which is good. And then we knock this back in here. That falls flat. You've got your tie-off points, and then if you want to knock those forward, we can do that here. This one, yeah, so that goes down there, and so you can see how flat that is. Towing is also an option, and it's another big one. Obviously, if you're a Scandinavian company, you want to make sure that it can tow. So weight on the roof rack is 100 kgs. The weight on the vertical load on that tow bar is 100 kgs, but then unbraked 750 kgs, braked 2,200 kgs. Drag coefficient is 0.29. Let's go some of these seats back up again. And so we can just press these buttons here on the side, and they rise up. And you also have the ability of lowering the car all the way down one touch. It drops it all the way down. And then bring this back up and the headrest back up. So I'm going to see if you can get these dropped down from the actual roof. Power tail lift, lock it down. So this is the 666 seat version without that middle bench. And so easy access into the back. So let's have a little look, and these can slide forward and back as well as the 6-seat version. So let's have a little look in the back. You can see how easy it is. I'm 6'2", 188 centimeters. So in the rear, we'll start with the rear. There's 2 ISOFIX in the rear and 2 ISOFIX in the middle seat. So down here, You can see 2 ISOFIX here, and tie-off points. You've got a drinks holder, you've got a USB Type-C. You also have a vent in the rear. Some nice visibility, so light-wise, you've got that gorgeous panoramic sunroof. And those drink holders. So in the rear, my leg is here, my center leg is out. And if you'd like to have a look at a hot, sweaty Irishman. So yeah, it's not really made for me, it's made for smaller people than me. But on the other side then you also have your cup holder, your USB Type-C, and that vent. Moving up to the center row, specifically with the 2-seat option, there's a little step up actually. And you can see that's where the battery and the other cooling, etc. will be in underneath. Center console, it's quad zone climate control. Heated seats as well as option. You've got these gorgeous vents. And then underneath you've got 2 USB Type-Cs and a little cup holder down here for the center people. But if you want a sexy cup holder, look at this. Absolutely gorgeous looking armrest. Cup holder. Beautiful, and that can be hidden away then. These are the Nordico seats in the brown with that kind of open pore wood, and there's ambient lighting behind that as well. Windows, we'll talk about how far they go down. Large. Door opening. Move back here. Now, if you're in the side doors, you can actually drop those rear seats with a button on either side here as well. Sliding, this can fold it all the way down, and if you want to just move it up, you can hold the seat up here and the whole thing slides forward, so you have access in there as well. Let's go over to the driver's side. On the door, you've got that, on the Ultra Trim, that 25 speaker Bauer & Wilkins system. You've got that open pore, you've got that silver. And then you have probably one of the downsides of, you've got the ability to open and close those rear windows on the single button. You can see here it lights up. And so let's go with the rear, and let's go with the, it's not allowing me to put that seat down or the window down, but I will get that on camera. It's in showroom mode. You've got the head-up display, you've got this large, oh, I need to close that trunk, that's what I need to do. That's maybe now high. Then you've got this 14.5-inch screen. You've got your Google interface up on top. You've got the widgets. Now, if you want to remove those widgets, you can drop that down. And that's phone and media. And then you've got along the bottom, you've got some contextual stuff. So Bauer & Wilkins title. So depending on what you're using, this will engage. You've got your Google assistants here. And then depending on where you are and what you're doing, when it's parked, it's camera, glove box, max defrost. And then this will change to performance. There's a couple of options there. Under 25 kilometers an hour, above 25 kilometers an hour, it is one pedal driving. And then this along the bottom does not change. And so you can have it or you can sync it. Very sharp, very snappy. You have your app store, etc., etc. Your hazard button is down here, your car settings, but you also have up here some physical buttons. So you've got your reading lights, you've got your SOS, etc., etc. And then down here you've got your play pause button, your open wood pour, your Qi wireless charging, you've got your closed, you've got a large cubby hole down here, and also there's another cubby hole even further down. You've got some storage in underneath here, 2 USB Type-Cs, you've got this seatbelt strap. Steering wheel, it's the first time ever in a Volvo that has been electronically adjusted on the pillar, and when you move the pillar you have to go into car settings. And so these are the shortcut bits at the top. It's things that you move and adjust, and underneath then it's one pedal driving, lane keep, etc. Driver adjustments, steering wheel, and then you can use up, down, in, out, depending on, you can see the rising up there, and then in and out, in, out. But what you'll notice is this driver infotainment screen is attached to the steering column. You've got the Bauer & Wilkins nautical speaker. And so what other driving adjustments have you got in underneath here? If you go to car and then you go to settings, you've got your driving settings, driver support, lane assist, one pedal, performance, steering feel, suspension feel, etc. You also have controls, so your lights, your locking, mirrors, steering wheel, adjust the steering. So there's a couple of different ways to get to different things. And then you also have sound, connectivity, your charging, your profiles, privacy system, Google sign up. Yeah, nice. Glove box is attached, is via large felt lined, etc., etc. And it's a frameless mirror. Seats are gorgeous, and you have down on the side here this little fella down here, and so you can up, down, in, out, and then when you press it in, it gives you more bolster support. On this upper level trim, you can see it's got massage, basic adjustments, etc., etc. And you press it again, you can get tilt and lumbar support, and then you can get the side support, whether you want those air bladders increased or decreased. And then on this massage side of things, you can have it massaging. I think it's around a 20-minute massage option on it. On the doors is this gorgeous feature down here of the silver strip. Everything is nice touch feel. You've got soft touch along the top. You've got this fabric in underneath here. Everything is recycled or recyclable. This is slightly darker. You've got this Swedish flag. Nice little Easter egg is on the seatbelts. You have 1959 because that's when Volvo gave up their patent to everybody else on seatbelts. And then over here on the dash, you have a little Swedish flag, which is a lovely little touch. Now, what else have I forgotten on my list of things before we take it out for a drive? What did we not mention? So we have competition. You're going to be up against the likes of the Rivian R1S. You're going to have the Tesla Model X 3-row. In the US, you have the Lyric Vestique coming. You have, in Europe, you have the likes of the Kia EV9, an amazing 3-row. You have the Mercedes EQS SUV, and so there's BYD Tang in certain markets. So it doesn't have it to itself, but it's at an interesting price point. It's more expensive than the Kia EV9. It's not as expensive as the Mercedes EQS SUV, so it's kind of sitting on its own. It's a bit more expensive than the XC90 and the plug-in version, which is currently around 96 in Ireland. This price is around 117,000 for the Ultra trim in Ireland, which we're getting with the twin motor, and then the performance is about 123,000. So it's not big small money, don't get me wrong. ID Buzz 7-seater is actually another one that you will have to have a little think about. It's based on the SPA2 platform. Battery size is 111 kilowatt with 107 gross. It's a 400 volt architecture, which is probably a good thing on some markets where 800 volt charging isn't really a thing. Drag coefficient of 0.29. The weight is 2,800 kgs. There is an air filtration system, which I'd like to show you as well. We have eco, more climate off, manual, quality times is what I want. I don't want the climate off, that's for sure. And so you can see it has air quality breakdown. So what we have is O3 at the moment here in LA, moderate, everything else is good, but look at the list. All the different pollen, the outside air quality and the inside air quality, which is a nice feature to have in it. Timers if you want, to come about climate, as to you have front row, you have middle row or rear row as they call it, and you can have the different seats inside there. This screen has the middle row seat, but it doesn't obviously have it in the car. So that's a nice feature to have. What else have we got going on in our... We're going to go and have a look at that other middle bench with the 7-row option, and then we're going to take it out for a drive. Last thing is range, about 300 miles or 580 kilometers WLTP, real world probably around 450 or probably near 240, 250 miles. And so just be conscious about that. Right, I'm going to show you the interior with the 7-row option, and then we'll take it out for a drive. So this is the wool mix. It's 30% wool and recycled PET. Gorgeous. And this is with the center seat here, the 7-seat option with the 3 rows. And this has the built-in booster seat that we would have looked at originally. And it has 2 Isofix, one either side. You can see that booster seat there. Now what I like about this option as well, it also has the ability of moving the central row independently from all the other rows. So you can see here, one-handed, I'm able to move that forward, back. It also tips down if you want that as well with that strap over here. Just make sure you don't cut that strap inside, and that drops that down. And so you have the ability of having it a 4-seat, a 5-seat, a 6-seat, or a 7-seat, depending what your needs are. I want to talk a bit more about the Lidar unit, which I think is fairly discreetly, and you can see up here that it says Volvo for life down there. And on the end of the wipers, you'll actually see it's also some washer. So as the wipers are going up, it'll clean off, and it is heated as well. Not active at the moment, so it's only in gather information only mode. But on the steering wheel, on the left-hand side, you'll actually see, hopefully you can see there. Can you see just in behind it has a little steering wheel with an A beside it? So I presume in autonomous driving mode. It's on the other side as well. There, you can see it. And so, yeah, looking forward to seeing what that's going to be like. So here on the powertrain demo, you can actually see the 22-inch with the closed, and there is Aero Wheels inside in it. So the interesting design about this is there's no lug nuts, open and visible, so they're totally covered over. The only bit of branding you have down here is the Volvo side of things. So this was the car that I'm going to take. These are the wheels in the car that I'm going to go with now with the sand dune color. So we've got 6 colors. You've got vapor gray. You've got the mulberry, which was on the car that we were looking at. Then we've got the white, crystal white pearl. We've got silver dawn. We've got sand dune. And then we've got a denim blue. I like that one. We've got platinum grey, and then onyx black. And then some different Nordico and the wool blends down here. So 30% wool and 70% recycled PET. There's some of the options, and then you'll see you got the wool, you've got the Nordico and the different colours, and then you've got the different wood trims as well. Nevo Electric Vehicle Show is back in partnership with Bank of Ireland. The show's second instalment will take place in the RDS Simmons Court on the 10th of November 2024. Building on the sold-out success of the previous show, this will be Ireland's largest ever motor show. Experience all things e-mobility with over 30 manufacturer brands displaying over 80 electric vehicles, the latest in charging and energy solutions, engaging discussions with industry experts, exhilarating test drive experiences, and captivating live vehicle demonstrations. Visit nevo.ie today to learn more and register for your free ticket. You've seen the outside of the EX90, you've seen the inside of the EX90, and you would have seen this in a lot of videos from other journalists before we got here today. I'm landing here in Los Angeles on the day of the embargo being released, so I'm able to do the driving impressions as well. Lots of sheets and lots of data. Today we're in the twin motor performance with the ultra level, and it is front and rear electric motors with all-wheel drive, obviously with the twin motor. The output is 380 kilowatts between both axles. Horsepower maximum 517. It is 671 foot-pounds of torque, 910 newton meters of torque. 0 to 60 miles an hour, 4.7 seconds. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.9 seconds. And a top speed of 180 kilometers, 112 miles per hour. So lots of data here. And then what else have I got in my notes? So there's the 2 motors. There's the twin motor and the twin motor performance. We've already talked about the twin motor performance, but let's also have a conversation about the twin motor. They both have torque vectoring like the Polestar 3 that we have on the channel already. So if you haven't already watched that review, and this is the second vehicle of its type ever, I think, with mechanical torque vectoring and a clutch that can be disconnected automatically. Predominantly front wheel drive for long motorway cruising, and the rear just engages when you need it. It's 402 horsepower for the entry level twin motor and 770 newton meters of torque, and is 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.7. Same drive mode selectors, so it's on the stock. So we've seen this already in Polestars, but also in the Volvo EX30. One pedal drive and can be engaged or disengaged. And this is on the dual chamber air suspension, which is the Ultra trim, which is the only one we're getting in Ireland at the moment. There is a Plus trim in certain other markets. Doesn't have some of the features like the 25 sound speaker Bowers & Wilkins, which is really, really good. People were asking me in the comments when I stuck it up on social media, what's it like to drive, but I haven't been able to answer them back Nice size steering wheel. Let's go through the motions. Visibility. Good size wing mirrors, and these are the frameless ones again we would have seen on its cousins over in Polestar. This has the head-up display. Nice to have a driver infotainment cluster as well. Great size. And then that 14.5-inch screen. Rear visibility. I was asking somebody there that was looking after the press fleet this morning about have I got the potential to either use voice control or a button to drop the rear third row headrests. Because when you press the buttons, which you would have seen in the interior review, you would have seen that I was able to, once you press the, because they're automated, they're mechanical, motorized is the word I'm looking for. It has been a long journey to here to get to Los Angeles. Because they're motorized, when you click down, the headrests drop down, and then the seats drop down. But then when you pop them up back up again, they pop up the seats, but they don't pop up the rear headrests. So I presume there's a button somewhere. I've asked the assistant, the Google Assistant, if they can do, if it can drop them down. That's not the case. So in the driving modes, then you have a number of different options. You've got a lot of driver sports. We've talked about the fact that there will be some over-the-air updates coming to this car in the very near future, hopefully, and some of the driver assistance systems. It's very good as it is. I did the Pilot Plus, cruise control, lane centering, lane keeping. There was no problem with that. And we also talked about the Lidar unit on the top, currently in read-only mode and not actively contributing to the different autonomous driving levels. And if you on the steering wheel, we would have looked at it on the when you were out, when we're doing the interior review with regards to what it was like. So this is in regular mode, and it's a lovely, the way that they feather in the speed, really nice. The dual chamber air suspension is gorgeous, and you can change it between firm or soft. Soft as it is, I think it's not too wallowy. I personally like it. Firm is very much firm. Driving dynamics, view all. Steering wheel, soft or firm. We'll put that to firm. And it weights up, oh yeah, lovely. And then the suspensions feel, when the minute you put it into firm, you can start to feel a lot more of the undulations on the road. There is an off-road mode, but that's only available sub 25 miles per hour here. And it's with that, no doubt, with that adaptive air suspension, the dual chamber on it. One pedal drive, on, off, or auto. If it's in auto mode, it is very much relying on a car in front of it slowing down. So if there is no other vehicles in front of it, it won't, to my knowledge, stop at a junction or know that there's a roundabout coming up, so different to some of the other manufacturers. So they're the different driving dynamics. There is steering assist, lane change assist, etc. And the one pedal drive that we've just talked about. So visibility good, seats, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. On this model here in North America that they're showing here, and this is going to be built in Charleston, Carolina, and it will service the North American market and also the European market. There will be Chinese-made versions that will be servicing the Asia market. And so on this version that we have here today, in the climate control, you only have heated steering wheel and heated seats. But I know in some of the other static versions that were going out and around, you saw a third row which was showing climate control or air-conditioned seats, ventilated seats. Not on this version, so whatever reason, whether it's the one that coming down the line or whatever, or maybe it's in it, but the software or the over-the-air update, I don't know. But I definitely have watched other reviews where people have got into the menu, and not on these cars and not on this trip, more of the European static launches where the ventilated seats, and the likes of today where you have 79 degrees Fahrenheit, not too warm, but a ventilated seat would be nice. So good visibility, we've talked about good seats. The steering wheel is a lovely size, lovely shape. And in fact, I like the way that it works. You put your finger on the gloss black tactile buttons there, and it shows you what that button can do before you actually do it, but you have to physically click it. And then you can hear there. And then, hey Google, mute the music.
Okay.
Just like that. Yeah, I have it for a couple of hours today. It's looking forward to getting it back on Irish roads, giving it a bit more of a thorough shakedown, right-hand drive, but also on roads that I know. It's very good around along Newport Coast City here in Los Angeles. Lots of freeways, lots of highways. We did go off before lunch and did down to a vineyard, and the roads were getting a bit more hairy contrary, but not bad actually overall. So steering wheel is good, brakes are excellent with that one pedal driving, really good, and it has that automatic handbrake ability as well. So overall, the driving impressions of it, as I said, I've only got it for a short while today, but I found it not wanting. I've driven it for about 3 or 4 hours. It can be smooth when you want it to be smooth, but it's a large vehicle at 2,800 kgs. Before you start putting people into it, you can definitely feel it. I'd be interested to see what it's like without the air suspension on the regular Plus trim. But we're only getting the Ultra models, and in Ireland we're only getting the twin motor Ultra and twin motor Performance Ultra, and so that's the only differentiator. We're not getting that single motor. I presume at this stage it's going to be rear wheel drive, even though this diverts back to front wheel drive when you're cruising along on the motorway. It has disengaged the rear wheel axle mechanically, and so just when you're cruising along as well, depending on that contextual bar at the bottom, you can hit performance mode and it's a shortcut into it. And you can definitely feel the difference in that rear wheel. Even though it's front wheel bias in a normal condition, when the power is needed, it really kicks it into that rear wheel. So no problem there. And you've got shortcuts on that menu too, one pedal driving as well. Efficiency is hugely important in any electric vehicle and understanding it. And so what we have here is consumption. We've got instant consumption, we've got average. Is currently over the last 300 miles, I'm getting an average of 36 kilowatt hour per 100 miles. And then on trip information, it's saying that since the last reset, it's 35 kilowatt hours. And since the last charge is 34 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. Hopefully you've enjoyed my look around the outside, the inside, and brief driving impressions of the Volvo EX90. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think. And remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to enjoy the next video too.